Okay, so wildfires. Obviously, they're super bad. As I talked about last week, I was very pro forest management, basically because wildfires are such an imminent threat to us today. Wildfires are scary. They can take out entire ecosystems at a time, and they're very threatening to animal and human life. However, has your local news source or even big news sources been lying to you about the severity of wildfires? I'm here to tell you that wildfires are really not as big of a threat as you may believe. I'm not saying that they aren't still a threat, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't do things to fix it. However, I'm saying basically that wildfires are not as big of a threat as we normally used to think they were. So, forest management is important, obviously. However, I think human management is much more important. 85% of wildfires are caused by humans and are sparked by humans. So very few wildfires are actually caused by natural causes such as like lightning strikes and things like this. So human management, in my opinion, is much more important than forest management, right? So wildfires are an important part of nature. Wildfires have been going on since the beginning of time. Obviously, we know that wildfires aren't just something that have been caused by humans. However, I feel like they have been um, they have been made worse by humans. However, they've been going on for all of time, right? So wildfires are basically nature's way of kind of cleaning all of the dead matter that is sitting on the forest floor right now. This could be anything from like dead trees that have fallen down, maybe leaves, any grasses, things like that, things that cover the forest floor. And what this does is it opens up the forest floor for new opportunities of plant growth. And this is important. There are certain species of plants that thrive on wildfires. They are essential for the growth. So, like uh, animals like or bugs like caterpillars and grasshoppers feed on these plants. So, like I said, wildfires are nature's way of cleaning the forest floor to allow nutrients to return so that new plants can emerge. Fires play such an important part in bringing these new plants into the ecosystem, and also they are an important part of helping remove the forest density. So you know that California has a very bad forest density because we've allowed it to be this way. Basically, back in the 1800s in Yosemite Valley and near Yosemite Falls, tribes actually used to burn. They actually used to burn the forests. Now they would do this so that they could retrieve food and they can also allow for new plant growth, like I had talked about earlier. And a lot of times they would let these wildfires burn because it was beneficial to the ecosystem. However, we have let our forests overgrow, and without we have tried so hard to suppress these wildfires that they haven't had a chance to really kind of clear out the same forest, or they haven't had a chance to clear out this terrible forest density. So our forests are much, much more dense than they used to be. So I'm also going to tell you some important facts um, that kind of help show you why wildfires aren't really as big of a threat as you know that they are. So, as you all know, the Amazon forest burned last year. Now, this is super, super bad, right? Something that we didn't want to see. However, if what you didn't know is that wildfires in the Amazon have actually decreased by 25% from 2003 to 2019. Now, this was before, I understand this is before the last Amazon burnings. However, this is a very great number. 25% less wildfires, even though we are being more and more populated. And see, that's actually what has caused wildfires to go down. So, human activity, specifically areas that are highly populated by human control, have kind of created these zones that aren't burned. So whenever a wildfire takes over a forest, right? Because we have so many different civilizations living inside of these forests, the wildfires don't spread as much as they used to. So basically, human activity has caused a much smaller amount of land to be burned than in previous years. We're seeing nowadays that in naturally caused and humans caused wildfires, much less land is actually burned than in previous times. So basically, I understand that wildfires are scary, and they are scary. They're something that we should be afraid of. However, there's something that aren't as bad as we really think they are. They're an important part of ecosystems. They help clear out forests, and they help make the way for new plant growth. So thank you for listening to my speech.